Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Elite 2 podcast. I'm Brandon. I'm with Logan once again. How are you, sir?
Doing very well on a Sunday morning once again.
Well, it's barely Sunday morning. It's almost Sunday afternoon. Me and,
Well, that's true.
me and Magsy are doing good. She still thinks I have food, so she's walking around. You'll probably see her tail go by here in a few seconds. So what else? What else is new? What kind of Pokemon stuff have you been playing lately, sweetie?
Well, I know for a couple of you that watched the stream this past week, we played through some Unite, which was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Um,
I've been playing, dude. I've been playing some Unite. I am back, baby. I am back in the Unite train. It's moving. I'm in veteran now. I'm moving.
Geez, I
T-Tar is
yeah,
rocking.
I played. Well, yeah, you're destroying on it with T-Star. I was really enjoying playing Unite again. Haven't played it in a long time, so that was fun. I did a couple extra post game stuff on Pokemon White, just trying to play through the Elite Four one more time so I can battle Alder. I just recorded the main bits of video about where I'm going next on my playing Pokemon, so that was fun. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna start Fire Red very shortly.
Ooh, Fire Red. I see. That's where I would love to see you jump on Twitch and just stream that. I would love to see you record that and then I want to follow along. I think that'd be fun.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I just need to get a capture card. So once I have a capture card, I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, man, I would love to watch you play through Fire Red. I have so many memories of that game. Magsy is just being so friendly today. Are you walking around? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See your tail? Everyone can see her tail. Her lovely tail in my face.
So other than Unite, what other Pokemon things have you been doing?
I think Unite's really the main one. To be honest with you, we played on stream and I was having a blast. And I'll tell you, MOBAs, I am I need to go to MOBA Players Anonymous or whatever because I'm addicted to MOBAs when I start playing them. And I can't stop. I love MOBAs. I played quite a bit after we played, and man, I was having so much fun. I was breaking out the old Scyther. I used to run Scyther a lot and just carry, and I was carrying like crazy. I was running Tyranitar. I don't think I lost. I'm not even saying this because I'm being arrogant, but I don't think I lost a game. I think I won every single game except maybe one that I played this whole weekend. So I was loving it. Now, granted, I was just an expert climbing. I think I am a veteran or ultra player, and so to be honest with you, I was under Mickey. I was under leveled, sweetie. I was under leveled. So I mean over leveled, I should say, for where I was.
Right.
So I need to keep climbing, but I was loving that. Other than that. Played a little bit of Scarlet Violet. I'm building a Komodo team, which I'm working on. I've always wanted to build a Komodo team, and so I'm looking up different ways. I played a couple games with it. The team that I had, I'm not a big fan. I was thinking of going with I want to. So you know me, I'm a big fan of teams that have a purpose and a clear mission. I don't like the standard VGC where it's 4 moves ahead chess, where you're I like to have a goal and go for that goal. And so for me, I want to build a Komodo team that features Komodo. No, sweetie. she's grabbing my straw wrappers. So I want to have a clear goal in mind. And so I want to do something a little different. And Komodo, I want to lead Komodo and Didi. And I want to run, some Pokemon will follow me. And I want to follow me turn 1 Iron Defense with Komodo. Then I'm going to put eject button or something on the Pokemon will follow me, and I want to jump out and bring in Tornadus, and I want to Prankster Tailwind, and then I want to Terra Fighting my Komodo, and I want this massive Komodo just coming at my opponent. She won't stop walking right in front of the camera. Sweetie, you can't keep walking in front of the camera. But I guess she wants to be featured today.
Yeah, she wants
But
to be featured in the podcast.
sometimes she gets sick of me working on the computer. She'll do that. Like if I'm working for a long period, it's she's literally right in front of me. Like, when I'm working for a long period of time in here, she will come in here and first she'll sit like she is now in front of me, like in between me and the screen, and then she will and then she'll literally lay down and put her arms over my hand on the mouse so I can't move the mouse. Like she's like, you need to stop working and pay attention to me.
You need to stop me on the computer and pay attention to me.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to do a Komodo team where I feature Komodo and try to sweep. I think it'd be fun, even if it's not that good. I would love to do something fancy like that to feature Komodo. I'll probably run like Ndidi, Tornadus, Komodo. I want Gyarados on the team just for fun. So I'll probably run Gyarados that's like supportive with Taunt and Thunder Wave or something, and then I'll probably finish it off with some like meta picks like Flutter or something. But I don't know. I want to do something cool. So those are the couple things I've been doing on Pokemon. Outside of Pokemon, I've been doing a lot of gaming too recently. Man, you have got to play the Horizon games. Oh my gosh. The story. I'm just playing the first one. And the story, I couldn't stop playing it yesterday. Like, I want to know what happens. Like, the story is amazing. The gameplay is cool. It's got a Pokemon feel. I think that's why I like it. Because, like, all the machines, you find, like, new ones throughout the game. And you can tame them and everything. So,
I know you named them. I know that was an aspect.
yeah. So like, it gives me, like, the Pokemon vibe. But it's also got an amazing story. And the graphics are awesome. I mean, it's PlayStation 5. So I've been playing a lot of that. As well as far as like other gaming things, but yeah, with Pokemon, it's been Unite, and then I've just been building that Komodo team. So that's what I've been doing.
That's pretty darn cool.
All right, so first thing I want to talk about is we have a international championship going on this weekend. LAIC is going on, and I believe it had VGC Go and TCG.
Yes.
I don't believe it has Unite. I think it's just TCG.
Which I don't know why. I don't know why they have to do their own separate tournament for Unite.
I really don't know. It actually looks like the only one that's still going is the TCG. It looks like they're on their master final right now.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard to watch that because it's from like 4. It's at like 4 a.m. or like 4 or 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really so. I will probably watch some of the later matches. I did want to talk about the kind of meta, so to speak, and it's so funny, and I want to talk to you about this. Like, at what point? So, I know that the best Pokemon out there are like Flutter and Iron Hands, you know. But at what point do we get sick of the same 6 Pokemon every single flippin' time in a competitive event? Like, we've had at least, I think, 3 or 4 regionals now where the top 12 have basically been identical. Like, really,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Kitakami, and I hate to say this because I thought it would impact it more, but Kitakami really has not impacted the meta at all. Like, at all. I think the next DLC definitely will. But this one, at least I hope it does. Jeez, I hope it does. But this one, no. I mean, again, it's Flutter. Flutter has been the top Pokemon in the meta for, I don't know, the last year. I mean, Flutter was the top Pokemon in the meta pretty much back when we played Fort Wayne, which was last May, right?
Yeah.
Flutter, Iron Hands number 2, they're pretty close. I mean, every team, if you're not running Flutter Iron Hands, then you're likely not making it. Those 2 Pokemon are, if you're running a standard strategy and not something like Trick Room or something weird, or you're not Wolfie and you don't run Parasong, you have to have Iron Hands and Flutter, Landorus Therian, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Tornadus, Heatran, Rillaboom, Hisuian Arcanine, which I didn't know this, but they said Hisuian Arcanine has won like 3 or 4 straight regionals.
It has. Yeah.
and that to me is wild. I wouldn't have expected that. And I mean, what is it? Fire ground or something? Fire rock?
It's quad weak to ground type, but like How many ground types have you listed off so far?
Just Landorus Therian.
Right.
And I mean, and it's only in 37% of teams. Amoonguss, Chang Pao, holding up the fort for those Pokemon. Roaring Moon. I saw actually when I was watching. Hi, Louie. When I was watching, I did see a lot of Roaring Moon. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
People are running, and they're not, and they're running like a supportive style. It's weird, like a supportive style Roaring Moon, which I would have never thought to do. The only one I've really ever faced against is like the Terra flying like acrobatics Roaring Moon.
Right.
And then 12th, we've got Ogerpon Wellspring. Ogerpon Water was on 17%. And I thought Water would be the one that would have the most teams. But it's funny because first of all, let's just talk about that. Any surprises in the top? To me, there's like 0 surprises. Maybe Ogerpon, but there's like 0 surprises in this top 12 from what we've seen.
So I'm gonna pull up Pikalytics with that Ogerpon Water because I was thinking that a defensive Ogerpon was going to be the one that kind of, take the cake. This thing has Water Absorb, which is a fantastic ability. Water Absorb is imperative to have when Urshifu Rapid Strike is around.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best counter to Urshifu Rapid Strike I've ever seen. And it gets a better version to Protect, Spiky Shield. It gets Horn Leech to stay alive. What's the boost that it gets when it Terastallizes for water? It's a defensive one. I don't remember which defense it is, though.
That's a good question. I'd have to go to PokeDB for that.
And for some reason, the Pokemon Company decided that this... I need some more light. That this Pokemon deserves to get Follow Me, and I don't know why.
See,
in a world where everyone's like, let's use Clefairy because it gives Follow Me, they give it to Ogerpon, which is an immensely better Pokemon. As well, like people use like Indeedee for Follow Me, right?
Indeedee.
Like, there's only a very select few Pokemon that get it, and you gave an offensive Pokemon Follow Me, and then give it Grassalization that boosts its defenses and gives it Water Absorb, and it's a Water Grass type Pokemon. Which, what would be its weaknesses then for Water Grass?
Well, you'd be 2-time weak to flying.
Ice. Water resists ice. I can't remember.
You're weak to poison, flying, and bug.
Okay, there's no bug types on the squad.
And there's no poison.
Unless you'll run into a Weezing.
Well, yeah, but I did see some Weezing. I love me some Weezing. I want more Weezing. Bring on the Weezing. That's the next team I want to build is Weezing. But anyway, Weezing, the thing about Weezing is it's supportive. Weezing is not designed to be offensive. I mean, it's gonna know maybe one move that can deal poison damage, but it's all it's trying to do is neutralizing. Like Wolfie entered a tournament. I think it was not this weekend, but last weekend, where he used Weezing and he won the whole thing. Like for a trainer who is as technically good as him, having a Pokemon that can neutralize abilities is broken. Like for someone that's as good and technical as Wolfie is, Magsy, you're in my way again. You are.
Yeah, another Pokemon that I'm seeing a lot that really I didn't see a whole lot on LAIC was Rillaboom. Rillaboom is a fantastic fake out user. It pretty much almost exclusively uses the Assault Vest item. So a pretty good fake out user. It uses U-turn, which
that Pokemon drives me nuts when I play it. So annoying.
Spring doesn't really like Rillaboom clicking U-turn on him all the time. Grass is neutral. So again, I got some Pokemon to look out for. The only thing with Ogerpon is, with Follow Me, is that it's not bulky enough to where it's going to stay on the field a whole long time. If you build it defensively, it might live 2 neutral hits, and that's about it. So people utilizing Spiky Shield when they can and really timing protects is really what would make it the best version of it.
Yeah.
But Follow Me, like, I'm sorry, if you Follow Me and it double attacks with neutral damage, you're clicking Follow Me one time. So like that's one of the negatives on
Yeah.
Overcon though.
Yeah, exactly. When I run Follow Me, I like to I don't like to keep that Pokemon in. So when I run Follow Me, I don't like to keep the Pokemon in the game very long. Like if I'm doing Follow Me, then most of the see, she's doing what she always does. She's like stepping on my mouse. So jeez. Okay. So when I run Follow Me, I like to run like eject button or like eject pack or one of those where like I'm clicking Follow Me, I'm doing something with the other mon to get it activated, and then I'm out. Like I'm jumping out and I'm going to whatever I need, and I can go into Iron Hands and fake out. I can go into something that has Helping Hand. I can go into a Trick Room. Like so that's how I tend to use it. So I agree. I mean, it's such an interesting Pokemon, and it's one that I think has merit. But like you said, some of these other mons that are in the meta are just weird. Sweetie, what'd you do?
Very weird indeed. On one thing, when we talked about how Unite's not a part of this LAIC, I looked it up. Pokemon Unite has a separate schedule with entirely separate tournaments.
Right, because it's ran by Tencent.
Yeah, it goes by It's from February to like end of June, which is kind of the schedule that they have posted. And of course, they're going to be there's going to be a couple regionals. Looks like it's at a couple regional championships, maybe, but it's mainly just going to be a highlight on the Worlds competition, and the whole season is going to basically have it to whoever qualifies to Worlds during that kind of season from a kind of late winter to early summer. So
yeah,
looks interesting. I just wish it was more a part of the Pokemon.
I agree.
Events.
I agree. It needs to be at the regionals. Like it needs to be. It's a Pokemon game. Like it would make if I could watch like when we went, if I could have watched Unite, it would have been so cool. I would have sat there and watched competitive Unite. Like that. MOBAs are fun to watch. They're good spectator games.
The only thing is, do they want a MOBA to be detracting from the other events as well?
That's true. I mean, MOBAs are definitely different.
I mean, how many events can we really watch? You know, I do understand that point of view too. Like, if you have
okay, well then get rid of Go. Sorry. like I mean, like I don't know. I think Unite would have more viewers, but that's just
100%.
Then Screen Tap Fest.
One thing that I think is interesting is how much Pokemon has invested in their visual presentation of those events. Like they're starting to do game replays. They're doing like highlights that the casters go through. Their backdrops are a lot nicer. There's a lot more animated intros. There's a lot of stuff that's making
a lot more analytics.
A lot more analytics as well. They're really doing a lot of stuff, which I love, which is making Pokemon a lot more competitively interesting to watch. The only thing, like when you watch past Pokemon events, like it was not ideal in terms of presentation. There's a lot of errors. There's a lot of things that didn't really make it fun to watch. The only thing that made old Pokemon events fun to watch was the casters and how good they were.
They do have a good group. They've done a good job of getting a good group of casters.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing that's interesting. I like where this is going. I like the fact that now we're kind of in a post-COVID world where the only main public kind of event people watched from last year was the World Championships in 2022. Now, that's the main one that people watched. And now in 2023, we had a massive schedule of regionals that kind of led into each other and kind of went to the point where you're trying to qualify for Worlds. And now, if I'm not mistaken, the schedule this year is larger. There's more events.
Oh yeah.
There's a ton of events. If you're looking at Pokemon's YouTube channel, they have a live stream like almost every 1 to 2 weeks.
I know it's good for the people whose livelihoods depend on that too, like all those casters and all those crews, and it's great because they're traveling all the time. But man, how fun would that be to be a caster on that for a year or two and just travel around? And, I mean, that would be a blast. If you were good at, like, my favorite is Cybertron Zang. Like Aaron, he is a Pokemon savant. Like that, when you watch him cast, I almost feel bad for the other caster because because he is so smart. And I learned so much from him, like listening to the way he talks. It's just so cool, man. So cool. But yeah, I mean, the season for 24 started at Pittsburgh in September of 23. So, like, it's a wraparound, and let's not even get started on that whole thing. But it's a wraparound, and man, there
How many events is before the new year?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in America. 1, 2, 3, 3 in Europe. So 8. LAIC 9.
Jeez.
10. So 10. There's 10.
Like, that's nuts.
10
Most
regionals. 9 regionals and 1 international championship before New Year's.
The new year, and then the new year has pretty much as many events as we had last year.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now I will say, they stop in like May. Is the last one.
Oh really? Is World still end of the summer in August?
I'd have to check. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look and see when Worlds is next year. But I definitely would love. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, we can get ourselves to 1 or 2 of these, and actually maybe be able to make some content around being there and stuff. I think that would be really cool. Maybe we could talk about our teams the night before or something. But I personally would love, like, I don't know. I'd love to go to 2. It's kind of hard, though, because we are kind of far away from them. I definitely want to go to Indianapolis on the 5th, May 3rd through the 5th.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm, like, so tempted to try to make Knoxville work in Tennessee. But that would be a lot.
Let me see.
That's February 2nd through the 4th. See, if I wasn't so darn scared of flying, we could go anywhere. But I'm not. I don't really necessarily want to fly.
Oh, yeah, I know. But, I mean, a vehicle is important. Definitely, I see what you're saying, kind of end of May in LA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, NAIC should be...
Well, don't they... So it does say more events may be added later. They tend to add stuff. So there probably will be events that happen after May that they just haven't scheduled yet.
Well, where's the New Orleans NAIC?
Right, it's not. Well, this is just regionals. Yeah, this is just regionals. Oh, the one that I said was not the international. There's 9 regionals before New Year's. The international championships are on a different page. But
okay.
But no, I mean, there's definitely, and I mean, yeah, I would look. Oh, dude, that would be so fun.
Charlotte would be so fun.
Yeah, really. I mean, all of them will be fun. It's just, and maybe who knows? Maybe I can at the university. Maybe I can use it as a esports research trip or something, or esports trip, and take off Monday or something and then go down. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a week of vacation that rolls into Q1, so I might need to use that on something. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll talk. We'll see. Also, I will tell you too. I need to do a better job of looking and finding locals, because there are like local Pokemon events that I see people posting about that offer championship points that are like at game stores.
Yes.
And I need to do I think we both need to look at that and see if there's any of them within like an hour of each of us. Because I'll drive to Pittsburgh to do one of those. Like, that would be so much fun. And I really, really want to do that. And I think that there are local events that you could jump into. So anyway.
All I see is Pittsburgh Regional, which I'm so annoyed we didn't get to.
Oh, well, again. Well, I'm not even going to get it. We could spend the whole podcast talking about how much of a bullcrap deal that was for people who lived in Pittsburgh. Like, regionals are supposed to be so that people in certain parts of the country can participate and come and enjoy themselves. And if you can't have people who live in Pittsburgh go to the Pittsburgh Regional, like, here's my one fear with all this. If it's too commercialized, my fear is if you have a first come first served ticket system and there's not enough seats, all these folks who are like pro players that fly around the world and do all the events, they're gonna get in. Like, they're not gonna keep Joe Ugarda out of a tournament. They're not gonna keep, Wolfie out of a tournament. Like, they're gonna get a ticket. So at the end of the day, like, if it's like Pittsburgh again, you're going to ruin the ability for local people to go to these regionals because all the international and like everybody's going to want to come to all of them. And that's good. Yeah. That's good. But it just means you need more seats. Like, you just need to make sure there's enough seats for people.
The only bad thing was they only had I think it totaled almost 400 seats, which they did in 2 waves. Because they didn't know they were gonna get enough dogs.
Yeah, but the second wave was only 40.
It was 40 spots.
It was literally the worst. And they literally announced the tickets on the first wave. They announced the tickets were gonna come out the day of in the morning, or the day before.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like I'm working a job and I missed the whole thing. Like, I missed the initial announcement and I missed the tickets going out. It's like, well, shoot.
It was only on Twitter as well. So
exactly. Again, what did I just say? These pro players who are paying attention, and they probably don't work, right? They're building to, and so they see it, they get it, whatever. But those of us that have jobs that are going to work, coming home, we missed that entire thing, the whole thing, over by the time we were done. And so, man, they got to do a better job of that. It comes from, and again, they've got to make sure that they hire good third party. All of these are third party event companies. They have to make sure that they vet these third-party event companies because, if I go to, the Pokemon regional events, let me go to, let's see, the regional championships, right? That Pittsburgh one was ran by Overload Events. They also did Toronto. They also have Charlotte. They also have Orlando. So, now, was it their fault? Maybe not. Maybe the Pokemon Company didn't get their docs back from Worlds. Maybe they didn't have enough space. But as an organizer, you have to do a better job of communicating. And you've got to communicate earlier, not day of. So, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, the event that we did with day 2 events when we went to Fort Wayne was very smooth.
It was.
And there was enough seats, and I've never heard anything bad about day 2 events. But, man, that was really bad. So hopefully, I guess, Toronto seemed to go okay. Also, I'll be honest with you, we should have went to Toronto, and I know you said this back then, but I can drive. I didn't realize this, but apparently you can drive over the border in Canada without a passport as long as you have the internet, the national driver's license.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So next year we need to think about Toronto because Toronto's only 3 or 4 hours away. It's not very far away.
It's only 3 or 4 hours away from me.
Yeah. So we should seriously consider Toronto next year.
Yeah, Toronto, and if it goes back in Pittsburgh, I got hope.
I would like to play in 3 to 4 regionals per year someday.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can figure out how to get Pittsburgh, I think I missed an opportunity in Peoria, it's in Illinois, that's 4 or 5 hours away. So I think I missed some opportunities, and I want to try to. Well, one last thing, I wanted to quickly talk about day 2, right? Because we've been chatting about VGC for 30 minutes, which I love. But day 2, I could do a whole podcast on VGC. I wanted to mention that day 2 pretty much had the same exact Pokemon, except Ogerpon was replaced by Goldango, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, so now it's just regulation.
Yeah, it's literally just Reg C, or it's hilarious. I don't. And for Goldango, yes, we've had the same meta for 6 months. Actually, let's be honest. the same Pokemon have been used at the very top of this esport since we went to Fort Wayne. Like, it's been the same. And so, I wish, I don't know what they need to do. I don't know, I mean, okay. Do we want to make this a VGC podcast? Because we need to have a discussion about open versus closed team sheet. Because, and I...
Here, wait, let's do this. Let's go through the couple of other pieces of news we have, and then we'll go back to open to closed.
Okay, because real quick, I think the meta is different in closed team. I think it's more varied if it's closed. But that's... I know that's unpopular. I know the best players want to see everything so they can see everything and strategize. I get it. It makes good players better, and that's fine. But I think open team sheet is part of the reason why we have such a stale meta. Because everybody knows that everybody's going to know what they're doing, so everybody has to use the best stuff at all times.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that.
See that?
I don't know. Okay.
No,
let's talk about some of the other things. Real quick, we have a 7-star raid event that's going to be going on. So let me that is going on, I should say. Search out Eevee in 7-star terror raids and mass outbreaks. This is all Pokemon.com. Eevee's appearing in the Black Terror Raid crystals and in mass outbreaks from November 16th through the 20th. So it's only one weekend. Today and tomorrow is it. And tomorrow it ends at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we're not gonna really have time tomorrow. So Eevee with the Mightiest Mark will be appearing in Black Terror Raid crystals. Can be found around Paldea, 7-star Terror Raids, blah, blah, blah. We'll have normal as its Terra type. And yeah, so it'll be a 7-star raid, Eevee, and then mass outbreaks. I want to try to at least do a couple of these today. Just to...
Yeah, we'll do.
I mean, hopefully they're easier. So PKM Ncast, and I'll credit him, gave us the moveset for this. So let me jump to his Instagram, because like I said, he always does a great job, or they always do a great job of giving it to us. But so Eevee, normal Terra type, Hardy nature. It knows Double Edge, Charm, Bite, Hyper Voice, and Baby Doll Eyes. So to me, you just bring Iron Hands and run hit, drain, click, drain, punch, and you win. But
well, it has a lot of ways to reduce your attack, right?
I guess so. I guess if you're looking at...
Here's what I'm going to run. I'm going to run a special Lucario with Focus Blast.
There you go. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I could to be honest with you, I might use Komodo just for fun too. I mean, no, I can't because it has it doesn't have any fairy type attacking moves. Yeah, so PKM Ncast recommends Iron Hands, and he had a couple more. They had a couple more. Koraidon would be good. Fighting type.
Koraidon would be good.
So anyway, and then mass outbreaks. Until this is more meaningful, I'm probably never going to do them. I just don't have time to do everything. So
yeah,
I probably will not be doing the mass outbreaks, but I would like to do the 7-star raid. I like that they've done a couple 7-star raids that seem to be a little bit more easy in a row here.
Yeah.
I like that they're putting like first Evos in 7-star raids. That's kind of nice. I don't know, just something fun. Yeah,
it's fun.
It is fun. All right, so enjoy your Eevees. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. I just thought it was kind of interesting. The Pokemon TCG Illustration Contest 2024 is underway. From Pokemon.com, it says, fuel your creativity with stories and advice from illustrator at Atsushi Furusawa. I'm trying there. Artists have just over a little over 2 months remaining to enter the Pokemon TCG Illustration Contest. Entries will close January 31st, 24. The theme is magical Pokemon moments. And so evidently it says you can choose from a handful of Pokemon, including Charizard, Pikachu, Eevee, Feraligatr, Flygon, Absol, Bidoof, Melmetal, Toxtricity, or Koraidon. Cash prizes will be offered to the top artists, and the winning art illustrations will be made into promo cards. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Now, the only thing I know, some people have problems with this because it's like Pokemon's farming out their art, and like they're gonna give you like a little cash prize, and then they're gonna use your art to like sell cards.
I don't know. It's pretty cool.
I know some people have an issue with these kind of contests because they think they're exploitive, but
I mean, I think it's a really good opportunity for artists to have some fun with some Pokemon designs and see what they can draw and illustrate. I think it'd be really fun. I think that's really cool. I mean, and hats off to whoever wins that. Because is a promo card, where are they going to hand out the promo cards? Like,
I don't know. It'd be cool if they did it at events. That would be awesome. And then it would be awesome if you win, if you got like free tickets to the event and you could like sign your card, you know, like or whatever. Or
yeah,
that would be neat. I think they should do that type of thing at events. I think they should have. I think regionals need to have more non-Pokemon player type of events. Like, it would be cool if you could sit down in an area, they give you a theme and a Pokemon, and you have, 30 minutes to sketch something. I think that'd be really fun. Like, for people who like art, to sit there and sketch, maybe an idea for something to add to events for people. I mean, because to be honest with you, I don't want to go to the build and battle, like, TCG thing where they just have a bunch of random stock, like, bulk, and you just, like, build, like, I don't know. That's just not as appealing to me.
yeah.
But anyway, okay. So let's see. Let's keep moving. We are Steeler fans in this household, and we have a football game here in about 20 minutes.
Yes.
So is there anything specific that you wanted to talk about here in your like Logan's Minute moment here?
No, I actually was thinking as well, because a lot of companies are doing this, and I'm hoping the Pokemon company keeps doing this, where we have something to look forward to around Christmas. I think that's really fun. So like the date for the DLC is the 14th of December. A fantastic date, because it's like a week or so before Christmas. Very exciting. It's the same thing that like Disney's doing with What If Season 2, which we're gonna get daily during Christmas.
Cool.
Which is crazy. So the same thing with Pokemon doing that. I really hope, and I did a short about this today, I really hope that we get something around Battle Frontier style thing where we have some fun Pokemon battling in a Pokemon game. That'd be great.
I am going to be on stream. I'm going to be stream heavy in December. I'm so excited. So I don't know if I told you, but remember how for those of you that don't know, I'm in a doctoral program right now, and what comes with that is a lot of reading. And I think I told you that the one class had like a reading list of like 10 books, and I thought my whole like December was going to be filled with like reading about the history of higher ed.
Yeah.
Well, the grad council at the college I go to voted to change the program sequence up a little bit, so that class has been backed up to May. So I no longer have that reading list to get through in December. So I am going to be streaming. My goal is like daily streams of the DLC when it comes out, and I want to stream like my entire journey through the DLC.
Yeah.
So yeah, that like you said, things around Christmas are so cool. Like people are together, families are together. Like why not? Why not do something that like we can do together? Like when we're together during Christmas, we can get together and do something. Like I want. What?
Yeah, like it's end of the year, fun things. I think people really buy into the whole like closing of the year, the opening of the year with some exciting stuff. Closing the year with a Pokemon DLC is fun because we're gonna get the last DLC for Paldea. I know we're talking about how the meta's stale, but it came out in 2022, right? End of 2022. So it's a year into pretty much Paldea, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. And because I know we played it Christmas of last year, we played Paldea.
We did.
So it's been about a year, and we're gonna get the last DLC for it. And we all know when we got the last DLC for Sword and Shield, very shortly after we got BDSP. So
right.
So we're gonna find out and see, what comes next. If it's going to be more Pokemon going into Paldea to change the meta up, is it going to be a completely new game? Are they going to move? Because I didn't know this until recently. uh, during when Wolfie won in 2016 the World Championship, they were playing on a Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. They were not playing on X and Y.
Oh, really?
Uh, and that's why they got access to Mega Rayquaza and Groudon and Kyogre. I'm very interested to see if Paldea is the game for competitive players for the whole rest of 2024, or if it's changed.
I agree. It'll be interesting. I I think it'd be kind of fun to have a season of competitive in a remake. I kind of think that would be fun. Maybe people would hate that because they have to go through the whole game and then remake mods. As long as they give us the easy ways to make competitive mods, because they did not do that in BDSP, and that would have been a nightmare. And so they've got to do that. If they want us to use a remake, they've got to do candies and vitamins and everything that they do now. And in a faithful remake, they won't do that. Because they'll probably put HMs in the game and everybody will be mad. Anyway, were there HMs in Gen 5?
Yes, but here's the thing with HMs in Gen 5. They're very optional. And this is where like when I first played it, I didn't really use HMs because the only HMs you needed, you needed cut once, and then you could just put it away. You need surf, but not really. Like you need surf, sort of, but like I think you can get through the whole game without it, because I can't think of a time where you actually are required to use surf. Strength is an optional, completely optional. Strength is actually 100% optional.
Really?
You don't need strength at all. To finish some of the post game stuff, you need the HMs. Other than that, like it's very low. I mean, by the end of the game, when I finished the game, I only had 4 HM in Gen 5. I only had 4. Like I only had a couple. Like there's 6 or 7 in the whole game. There's a few that you get in the post game to do exploring in the region, but there was not a lot of HMs. It's definitely not a hindrance at all. Actually, no, you get Fly. Fly is one of the ones you can use a lot, like always, but
Okay.
not a whole lot.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Let's do Pokemon of the day, so that we can get ready. So that we can get ready for this game.
The football game.
All right. What did I draw here? Diglett is what I drew.
Diglett.
All right. So let me get.
Oh, there's gonna be so many deck entries for Diglett.
Yeah, there will. We don't have to read all of them, but
let's see how many there are.
I'm going to. I'll read some trivia. So obviously we know Diglett is the mole Pokemon. Ground type, it has a lowland type, which is ground steel. Let's see, let me go down to its trivia. Its base stat total is 265. It's got a tiny HP stat of 10, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's silly.
And I didn't realize it was that low. Jeez, there's so much content on Diglett. I gotta go all the way down. All right, some trivia. It shares its category with Drillbur. They're both the mole Pokemon. Let's see. Let's see if I can find. Diglett and Alolan Diglett have the lowest base HP and defense stats of all ground types. Alolan Diglett has the lowest HP and defense stat of all steel types. In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team and Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team in their remake, after the first Mr. Steel mission, Diglett mentions having feet.
Yeah.
It's mentioned again as being one of 7 mysteries of Pokemon in a letter, along with Arbok's pattern changes and the inside of Forretress's shell. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I saw a news thing on that. That was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. That's probably. Oh, it says Diglett is listed in Pokemon Stadium as having Acid as a move, despite not being able to learn the move. So apparently the Diglett in Pokemon Stadium has Acid, which is not normal. All right, give us some Pokedex entries.
All right, we'll get a couple here. I think Diglett has the most Dex entries we've had so far, so I will pick a handful. So I'll do a couple of the early ones, and then I'll do a couple of the later ones, and see if things change. So in Pokemon Red and Blue, first games ever, we have it lives about 1 yard underground, where it feeds on plant roots. It sometimes appears above the ground. Pokemon Yellow, it prefers dark places. It spends most of its time underground, though it may pop up in caves. And then at Pokemon Stadium, it says its head pokes up approximately 8 inches out of the ground. However, its real size remains a mystery to this day.
Never comes out of the ground.
That's really funny, actually. I'm going to do the one from Ruby and Sapphire. So Ruby and Sapphire was, Diglett are raised in most farms. The reason is simple. Wherever this Pokemon burrows, the soil is left perfectly tilled for planting crops. The soil is made ideal for growing delicious vegetables. So that is Ruby Sapphire. We'll do Pokemon X and Y. So Pokemon X and Y, it has it as lives about 1 yard under the ground, feeds on plants, sometimes appears above ground. And then Pokemon Y, its skin is very thin. If it's exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak. And then lastly, we'll do Scarlet and Violet. It's the newest ones. Which Scarlet's is the exact same one as X's. And Violet is the same Dex entry as Y. So it's a lot about it living in farms.
Nice.
And
very good.
I could do one on a lowland Diglett.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And Ultra Sun, although it's powerful enough to dig right through a volcanic rock, it doesn't allow itself to be seen very often. Ultra Moon, the need to dig through volcanic rock in the ground has made them more powerful than the Diglett of other regions. About regional variances.
All right.
That's
cool.
Diglett.
Gotta love Diglett. Diglett's always been good. And that was an easy design change for them. They just made the rock a little darker and gave him hair for the lowland form.
I guess that hair let him dig through volcanic rock instead of just normal dirt.
Exactly. Alrighty, well, I think that's about it. We'll save our discussion on open versus closed team sheet for another day, because I think that could be an entire 35-minute segment.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, anything else you want to talk about before we end today?
That's about it. We're going to do some Eevee raids.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of the Elite 2 Podcast. I'm Brandon. I'm with Logan. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you soon. See ya.
Signing off.